Oh, the countdown's done. That means it's go time. Hang on. There we go. There it is. There it is. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this live stream on Sceneometry. I hope I'm coming through. Hope you all enjoyed the new video that came out yesterday. Yeah, late. Sorry, Big Bubbles. I'm sitting here, like, just getting mentally prepped, and suddenly the countdown's done. It's like, what? What? Anyway, we'll blame the fact that I'm already in my pajamas. Just like D2 Richie. And I think, honestly, being in your pajamas is the best way to enjoy today's live stream. I would recommend, highly recommend. It's middle of the afternoon for me, so it would be kind of weird for me to be in my pajamas. Although, as one who works from home constantly, there are days when I'm never out of my pajamas, to be perfectly honest. So there's a good chance a lot of this video that you're seeing on the screen right now was edited in my pajamas, and I just need a quick swig of water because I just scarfed down a PB&J because I'm doing this right after lunch. But anyway, glad to see most of you are doing well. Just give me 1 second here. Goga, you have Lego pajamas? That's amazing. Hello, Bloomo666 and Goga and Trikiran. Trikiran, familiar face from my other channel, the Triple S League. Nice to see you. And the FBI is in the chat. So everyone, best behavior. And yes, it is good news. Futurama Friday, indeed. Hello to everyone else. I just want to read the names here. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this. Animatja Upola. You know what? I'm not going to try that. But I'll call you Annie for short, if that's okay. Or maybe you can tell me the pronunciation of your name. But welcome Angala, welcome Molten Iron Phoenix. That's a pretty epic name. Ivrat Stargy and Brick Guy 42. Cobalt Retrotech. Solid Hank, and Busky. It just, oh wow, there's getting to be too many names to even list off. Well, welcome everybody. There's John DiMaggio on the screen, and someone pointed out in the comments of the video that he really does look like King Zog, his character on Disenchantment. The thing around Bender's neck is a Wunderbaum. Ah. Is that a joke, or is that like an actual German thing that I don't know about? Excuse me. This was a fun video to do, I gotta say. I love My Three Suns. It's a great episode of the show. It introduces Elzar. It introduces Bender's love of cooking, and then we get to go to this other planet. I got to have some fun with this effect here. I've been doing a lot more stuff in After Effects, and so had some fun making Elzar melt here. And yeah, cheese it. That's right. Feds are in the chat. Cheese it, everyone. A perfume thing for your car. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like it's an air freshener, as what we would call it here in Canada. I think that's what they call it in the States too. Yeah, thing that and the pine. So it's like a traditional kind of air freshener thing that they would put in your car, usually hanging from the rearview mirror. So that's what it is. But the point of that was more about the shape of the pine tree. Like that is a common air freshener shape here in the 2000s, but pine trees are supposed to be extinct in the year 3000. So it's just curious that they would still use that shape and scent. You remember Elzar more than Emerald at this point. Yeah. I knew... actually, I'm trying to remember if I knew about Emerald before I ever saw Futurama. I don't know if I was. I think I might be. I've never really watched his show. Honey-Soaked Seagull says, just discovered your channel earlier and binged through all the episodes you've covered. Solid work on it all. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Really... I mean, it's kind of surreal and overwhelming that this channel's taken off the way it has, that these videos have gotten so much recognition. I mean, we're still, still a relatively small channel in the grand scheme of YouTube, but it's definitely taken off faster than I expected. So I really thank you all for that. Maybe it's an artifact and it's like a retro. Like the air freshener, you mean? An artifact that they found and they kind of reappropriated. That's a cool idea. I don't mean overwhelmed in a bad way, Cole. It's been like, well, sometimes I do get overwhelmed in a bad way. I feel the pressure, and a lot of it I put on myself. I put all this pressure on myself. By the way, okay, I'm going to pause this here because this, this may not look like much, but when I tell you how I actually created this little bit of the video, you'll probably be bored, but I thought it was cool. Anyway, what was I talking about just a second ago? Oh yeah, the pressure. There's always, when you're a creator, there's always this pressure to do more, because you got to get your channel growing. So I'm trying to relax and not overthink my actual work. Because, I mean, this is not my full-time job. I have like 2 other jobs that I do part-time as well. I'm in a very unique situation in life where I do a bunch of different jobs, all from home. So and it works, like, works really well for me and my family situation right now. But yeah, sometimes I get overwhelmed thinking, oh, I got to do more. But so many of you have been like, hey, relax, don't worry about it. The videos take as long as they take. No pressure. Quality takes time. Stuff like that. And those comments, they mean a lot to me because it lets me know, you know what, I don't have to suffer losing sleep to get the videos done. You people are, you guys are, and girls out there are, just happy with the pace that it's going. Yeah, I wish I could get videos out more frequently, but they take a long time. That's just the way it goes. But I really appreciate the support from those of you who are like, hey, don't sweat it. It takes as long as it takes. Really, really appreciate that. A couple of folks in the chat saying season 1 feels a little clunky when you rewatch it. Could have had more sci-fi stuff. Yeah, and I kind of agree with Solid Hank's assessment that they may have deliberately made things old school so people can understand them. I talked about that in episode 2 where Professor Farnsworth, plays them their new commercial on tape, and like on an old school tape. And I think that's the case. I think that it, rather than like having to explain every new, like they could invent like countless sci-fi gadgets, and they do sometimes, but they always have to explain what it does, right? It's a lot simpler to just have to just watch the professor put a tape in the machine, than to have to explain, oh, this is our new video format in the year 3000 that you're unfamiliar with, Fry, but here, this is what it looks like now. And so I think, and also because, I mean, really it is a parody of current day, or a satire of current day. So they satire current day stuff. There's a scene in one episode where Nixon is seeing a TiVo machine for the first time. Now that's outdated technology as of 2024. But, they throw it in there to make a joke, and it's funny. So you waited 10 plus years for new seasons. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Let's see. Quality over quantity. I appreciate that very much. I have, I think, the greatest audience of any, I found that I have a very supportive audience for this channel, and so I really, really appreciate that very much. Don't they kind of change from the second season and onward? Well, let me think here. I think when that may be the case, I'd have to go back and I kind of watched through the early seasons again in the background a couple weeks ago while I was doing other stuff, and I think they definitely, things get more and more out there, more and more crazy. They go into more and more crazy sci-fi stuff as the show goes on, and I think a lot of that is it's part of it is pacing. Like in the first season of a show, you're just establishing the setting and the characters and all that, and that's why, as I commented, forget this for now. Maybe I'll talk about it later. The food. I know this made a few people hungry. Talking about Bender's love of cooking. So as the series goes on, it gets more and more out there, more and more wacky, and then you start to get into the time travel stuff and the body switching stuff and the more crazy sci-fi things. I think it's really good that they didn't bring that stuff into the first season. You go too crazy too fast, it's easy to lose track of what's going on. This is part of the problem with the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. For those of you who are familiar with that, the second episode, I guess the third or second, depending how you count it, because the first episode was like a double length episode, so it's often split into two parts. But the Star Trek season 1, second episode, called The Naked Now, I think they did it as a way of kind of connecting it back to the original Star Trek series, because it plays off of a similar ailment that happens to the crew in that series. But basically, something happens that causes all of the characters to act out of character. They all act weird, but the problem is, if it's the second episode of your show, you don't know the characters well enough yet. And so that, for that to make any sense. And so I kind of like that they keep things a little more down to earth, in quotes, metaphorically, because they do go off to other planets, and especially, in this is the first episode where they really, no, it's not the first episode where they go to another planet, but it's definitely the first episode where they go deep into another alien's culture. And I think it's good that they paced it like that and didn't throw this in as the second episode of the show, which was their original plan. This was one of Matt Groening's earliest ideas. They had originally decided it's going to be the second episode of the show. They made it the seventh episode, and I think it's good because it lets you build up, learn the characters, do all of that stuff. Fry and Leela have a bit of a relationship, so it makes more sense. When they have their conflict in this episode, makes a little more sense. So, Worf's worst enemy are doors. I'm not forgetting the reference there, but. I'm not forgetting. What did I just say? Is there an episode where he hits a door or something? I don't really remember. But anyway, thanks for the comment. Girls, aliens. But if they are on a different planet, who is the alien and who is normal? Yes, Trick Aaron. Although in this case, they're on Earth still. They're in Little Italy on Earth. Or not Little Italy. Sorry. Little Neptune. I said little because I think it's supposed to be... I've never been to New York, but I think it's supposed to be like a parody of Little Italy. So they are still on Earth there. But yeah, what are aliens? I mean, you do have a lot of aliens living on Earth in that time. So an alien literally means, someone from somewhere else. So does it really make sense to still call them aliens if they're living on Earth? Anyway, let's see. Looking through more chat messages here. The sliding door slams on Fry's head. Yes, that happens in the first episode. Probably in other episodes, too. What about girls and girl aliens? Yeah, exactly. I made a joke about that in the video. It's like, are the aliens not girls? Is it non-girl aliens? Is it anyway? Loads of episodes where he struggles to open doors. Where Worf does? Okay. Huh, I never caught that. I watched through the entire series a couple of years ago, which is really, I love Star Trek Next Generation. First season, though, kind of, kind of meh, not gonna lie. But season 2, where they really, isn't it season 2 where Geordi becomes the chief engineer? And that's like, when I was a kid, I don't think I ever saw the early seasons. I knew Geordi as the chief engineer and Worf as the head of security. Suddenly going back to season 1, and there's these, they're in these different roles that I'm not familiar with. I'm like, what's going on here? Can't believe only 45 people are watching. Thank you for the compliment. If you, feel free to share the link around. You want to bring more people in here. Don't they already do that if you're... Oh, well, possibly. Technically, an alien means that you are, like, not a citizen. You're living... Actually, yeah, it doesn't... You can be a... You know what? I'm not going to go there because it's a politically charged topic, but... First 2 seasons of any Star Trek series are awful, yeah. 1 billion subs when? Good question. What's that, like a 10th of the planet? Yeah. Do I have a favorite and least favorite episode? Well, favorite episode is hard to pick. Least favorite episode, pre-season 12, my least favorite episode was Children of a Lesser Bog. Actually, it was kind of a toss-up between Children of a Lesser Bog and... what's that other one? Where they do all the toy... where they turn the crew into toy... Hang on, I gotta look up a list of episodes here. Let me just pull it up on streaming, and then I can see all the episodes. And I've just got to sort through all... Okay, scroll past all the crap that my kids have been watching. Because it's on... Here in Canada, Futurama streams on Disney Plus. So I got to go into the Disney. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, The Prince and the Product. Prince and the Product was awful. Oh, my goodness, that was a terrible episode, in my humble opinion. And Children of a Lesser Bog, I thought was not a good episode. But as far as canon episodes, like episodes where it's like, yes, this really happened in the canon of the show, Children of a Lesser Bog was my least favorite until season 12. And now I'm not sure anymore. Season 12, and actually this is kind of a good segue. This is what I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about season 12. Get all your thoughts on it. In fact, let me do a poll here. I probably want to do a couple of polls. Where's the polls? Hello there. What? Okay, I know that... Oh, engage. They moved it. Okay, here we go. Create a poll. Okay, ask a question. Let's see. Now, okay, I'm kind of assuming... The general consensus seems to be that season 11 was not great. So I'm just going to start at that baseline. If anyone disagrees, that's fine. If you liked, I have gotten some comments of people saying, yes, I actually really liked season 11. Well, and that's fine. And it did have some good episodes. Did season 12, how do I want to phrase this? I don't have, tons of, time to like craft a perfect poll question here. Okay, was season 12 an improvement over season 11? And just, we're talking about Futurama. Okay, start the poll. So I want to see what you guys think. Was season 12 an improvement over season 11? We'll let that run for a little bit. Goga says season 11 was acceptable. Cobalt Retro Check says 12 is better than 11. The revival definitely could have been better. Oh, yes, it could have been better. They have It definitely could have been better. 1 second here. Have to hit my cough button now and then just because I had a cold like a month ago, and I've got this cough that's still hanging on. It's kind of annoying. I'm voting yes, but didn't see every episode. Okay, fair. So you saw enough to believe it was better than 11, though, already. Let's see. 12 has the worst episode, says XA44, but the average was higher. Okay, interesting. What was what is the worst episode of season 12 in your opinion? Secret Nick says, I half wish Futurama stayed dead. I'm kind of halfway there too. I've kind of after season 11, I wasn't sure I was happy that they had brought it back, but the last episode, all the way down, the last episode of season 12, or sorry, season 11, sorry. I'm actually really bad at multitasking, and so I'm kind of trying to read chat and talk at the same time is not easy. So all the way down kind of gave me some hope that maybe it would get better. The NFTs sucked. Yeah, it's kind of... And that was the One Amigo, right? The episode about the NFTs. The one part of that episode that made me laugh out loud. Actually, I really liked the exploration of Bender's heritage and his family history in Mexico. That's the part that I liked about that episode. I thought Abuelatron was hilarious. And, Bender kind of interacting with his long-lost half-cousin or brother or whatever that was. But yeah, the NFT stuff was... They didn't do it well. They could have written it way better and not had it be just kind of a bunch of buzzwords and like just we've got to kind of explain to the audience what these are and why it makes sense, but they probably don't really understand. But it's really difficult to explain what NFTs are, period, because it's just as Qbert says, what are you buying when you buy an NFT? You're buying a concept. You don't actually own anything. It's a scam. There's my hot take for the day. Simpsons did it better. Oh, I want to see the... what season's that in? I want to check that out. I haven't seen the... I haven't seen a lot of the recent seasons of The Simpsons. Let's see. Otherwise was best. Sean Kelly. Sounds like you're following up on a previous comment. I just don't see. Oh, Otherwise. The name of the episode, Otherwise. Sorry, I thought you were continuing from a previous comment, but no, you're talking about the episode Otherwise. Yeah, Otherwise was an interesting one, and I'm going to be talking about it a bit today in the context of something else. You've seen the title there, Debunking My Own Fan Theory. Yeah, that's probably sounds kind of weird, but we'll get to what that is. I'm actually gonna change this text on the screen here. Discussing season 12. There we go. Boom. All right. NFTs are just buzzwords and don't make sense. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all it is. Give me money to own something. It's something so complex you can't understand it, you can't touch it, you can't hold it, you can't have it in your house. The thing it supposedly represents can actually be owned by, anyone can have a copy of it, but you own the real thingamajigger in some complex way. I think they summed it up kind of well at the end, where Bender's like, I now own a something, something, something string of numbers that no one else has. And how to a robot, that's like a cool thing. And but why would a human want that? No conceivable reason. So I had mixed feelings. I had mixed feelings about that episode. I do think that they could have done the one Amiga, like the NFT stuff could have been done better, but some of it was good. Like I said, I like the stuff about Bender's family. But let's see here. JB asking, do I have a favorite quote from the show? Yes, but when I'm put on the spot, I always forget what it is. So let me think about that. Let me think about that. I'll try to give you an answer. Let's see. Isn't the thing that you don't own it? You see, I don't even know. Honestly, I forgot. When I was covering video game news over on my other channel, I had to kind of delve into the world of NFTs a little bit. And kind of talk about what a scam it was there. But since then, I really haven't. Honestly, actually, when I first sat down to watch season 12 and I turned on the One Amigo, I had forgotten all about NFTs. I probably hadn't thought of them in over a year. And suddenly, now probably because it takes a while to make an animated episode of this show. And then it, so when they started making it, they were in vogue, and now they're kind of not. Now I think, like, I hadn't thought about NFTs in over a year. So, hello to all the new people coming into chat. Welcome. Let's see. We're getting nowhere slowly. There's some great quotes from the show. There is some great quotes from the show. And I wish I should write them down, because I've been asked this multiple times. What are my favorite quotes from the show? And there are some I definitely say all the time, but when I'm put on the spot, I always forget what they are. NFTs remind me of, says Humble52, remind you of how people would sell art prints claiming to be the original for insane prices, but it's just a copy anyone can get. Yeah, it's like that, but even more ridiculous. Even more ridiculous. It's like saying if you buy this, you actually own the original somehow in some weird way that nobody can explain, but you don't. So anyway, getting back to talking about season 12. So 60% of you who have responded to the poll now say that season 12 definitely improved over some of the mistakes of season 11. So that is interesting. So it's divided. Like, it's 60%. That's definitely a majority, but it's divided, I guess. Now, I keep flip-flopping on this because season 12 had some stinkers. So the One Amigo was, I would rate it like a 5 out of 10. When you average out the kind of the awful NFT stuff combined with the decent stuff about Bender's family, I'd say it's a mid-tier episode. Quid's Game got me with the whole idea that Geshi was Geshi and Fry were best friends. And then due to his mom's intervention at the end, I don't want to give... Some of you are saying you haven't seen the episodes. There may be minor spoilers. Let's just put it that way during this segment. I don't think there's any way to avoid that. Basically, it kind of had the most tearjerker ending for me since Jurassic Park. Except it didn't have the staying power of Jurassic. Like, it just wasn't the same quality of episode as Jurassic Park. But the whole idea that Fry and Geshi were best friends, and due to Fry's mom trying to help him feel good about himself, she winds up screwing up, like, basically he loses all his friends. That was kind of emotional. So, and it was kind of sad. Why now it's your bedtime? I'm sorry, Space Peanut. You can... Oh, snoo snoo is definitely something I've adopted into my vocabulary. Definitely. It became a meme over on my other channel and in the Discord community there. Everyone started calling it snoo snoo. Banana, banana, banana. Love it, yes. Where's the device that lets you speed or slow the passage of time? Under the seat. Yes. No, I doesn't. Ah, I love the quotes. Yes, so for some of you it's morning, for some of you it's bedtime. Glad to have people from all over the world watching. That's one of the cool things about being able to do a live stream like this. So Solid Hank says, I like that episode more than others because it has a lot of nuance. I think you're still talking about Quid's game. If you're not talking, let me know if I'm wrong about that. If you are still talking about Quid's game, though, I would agree. It does have more nuance. Then came The Temp, which, what on earth, what was that episode? That was just, I don't even know. I have no words. The Temp was just, what the heck happened in that episode? Actually, let me bring up my tweets. And yes, I still call them tweets. Let me see here. Because I live tweeted while I was watching the first few seasons of episode 12 for the first time. Let's see, The Temp. Oh yeah, so my thoughts were, what's this? A cold open in 2024. This is going to be interesting. They wrote Axe on the sign. Okay, so if you remember from the anchovies episode, I made a comment about how they wrote ask on a sign where it's supposed to be pronounced axe, but they wrote ask. They actually wrote axe on the sign in The Temp. I thought that was hilarious. It's almost like they were reading my mind. So my overthink of the episode for The Temp was Bender also hypnotized by the doppelganger Fry voiced by David Herman, or is he just as indifferent as usual? And then I couldn't even tell you what happened in the plot after. Like, it was so forgettable, I forgot about it the moment the episode was over. I don't know. That was a weird episode. What did you guys think of The Temp? Tell me in the chat. Luck of the Fryish, that is a great episode, yes. Blackjack and hookers, yes. That's a great quote. They brought it back in the new season too, didn't they? They brought back in season 11. They brought back the professor saying, "I'm already in my pajamas." Then in season 12, wasn't there a blackjack and hookers thing? Oh, and yeah, Ronald Roach says season 12 was better, but I can't enjoy the animation style now. It is different, and I know that the episodes are being split between two different animation studios. I think they have the original animation studio and another one that does some of the episodes. And I don't know if that's why it's different, but definitely I noticed in the eyes. Like, the eyes are different. The eyes of the characters, the pupils are a different size or something. Something else is definitely wrong. Something is weird about the eyes in the characters in the new seasons. The Temp was better than a lot of the season, but didn't really enjoy it. Did he hypnotized me as well? Solid Hank loved The Temp. Okay, interesting. Everyone forgot about The Temp. Yeah, exactly. The hypnosis was so strong, it came through the TV, out of fiction and into reality. D2 says, I felt from the start of Sceneometry that some Futurama staff have switched a few of your episodes. Do you mean watched a few of my episodes? I mean, I suppose that's possible. I don't know, though. I mean, it could be coincidental. It was really funny that they brought back the It was not long after. Yeah, I think it was after I did I Roommate. It was shortly after I Roommate that. No, it was later than that. It was after Love's Labor's Lost in Space. Then season 11 came out, and then, and they did that, and I felt at that moment like someone there had watched my episode. It's possible. It's also possible that it was just a coincidence, but it was really nice to see that they. Oh, that's one of Sean Kelly. Thank you. That's something I say all the time. I quote the neutral aliens a lot. The all I know for sure is my gut says maybe. I love that line. And then, if anything happens to me, tell my wife hello. I have no strong feelings one way or the other. You blame Disenchantment. Did anyone else find Disenchantment just did not have the same magic that Futurama had or that The Simpsons had? Disenchantment, I watched the first couple seasons, and then it didn't hook me to keep going. The story was kind of interesting, but it just didn't hook me past that. I think I kind of forced myself through a bunch of season 3, and then I was just kind of done with it. Maybe it gets better. But I don't know, it kind of felt like they were phoning it in. Or maybe they were trying to go for something that just didn't quite work as well as Futurama did. You only laughed once in season 12? Yeah. Season 11 you didn't laugh. So it was an improvement, yeah. Why would the Neutralians have merit? Seems pointless if they lack any kind of passion. Good question. You'd have to ask them, but they'd probably say something like, what would they say to that? Oh gosh, I'm putting myself on the spot now. Why would the it seems acceptable. Kind of reminds me of that guy that, what's the name of that guy that Leela dates? That's like just the most average guy. Adelaide something or other. The surgeon who, in the episode where she gets, like, he gives her a second eye. I mean, I thought that a fantasy. I went into it kind of expecting like a fantasy Futurama, and I think one of the funniest. I really thought the elves were funny, and their names, like, nobody leaves except for Levo. All their names. I found the elf naming scheme rather funny, but it just it didn't quite have the. Like that demon character, was clearly kind of a Bender surrogate, or analog. What's the right word there? And then it just kind of felt like, they were trying to recapture that same formula, almost like the Fry, Leela, and Bender trio, where the demon character is unquestionably Bender. And then Fry is more like the elf, but it's almost like if Leela was the main character of Futurama instead. And Princess Tia Beanie was a decent character, but it just, I don't know, the formula didn't work nearly as well in my mind. I know it has its fans though. I know there's a lot of people that enjoy it, and I honestly, if it's. Yeah, you know what? I think it is probably a pure breeding situation for the new. They need to make those neutral babies, but yeah, like Disenchantment has its fans. I know there's some people who really like it. I've even gotten comments asking me to overthink it, which I don't have any plans to do at this point. But originally I was going to branch out beyond Futurama, but everyone wants more Futurama, and I'm not tired of it yet. So I will definitely be doing a lot more Futurama. It's very possible this channel will only be Futurama going forward, but I'm not committing one way or the other. The coffee episode too. Oh yeah, so I guess let's just get back to discussing the season 12 episodes. Beauty and the Bug. Some of these now, unlike when I reviewed season 11, I've only seen some of these once, so I haven't really. Obviously, I don't have. When I reviewed season 11, I had a whole script written up. Like I had a detailed review written out. This time I don't, so I'm kind of going off of my gut reactions and what I can recall about these episodes. But so Beauty and the Bug I thought was decent, but there was just like, okay, did anyone notice Hermes' jokes in this episode were kind of lame, or in this season? Like, he kind of does this observational thing, or not observational, but it's like the situation where all of a sudden he's noticing like the giant pen of Bugalo behind him that he didn't see before, and they're trying to make comedy out of that. It's like, and he's like, how do I keep missing these things? I don't know. It just seemed really strange for his character. Like, Hermes is very observant and detail oriented. It just didn't, and I think the problem with this most recent couple of seasons is they just don't capture the characters properly. And I talked a lot about this in my season 11 review. Like, what on earth happened to Leela? You know, Leela, they've butchered Leela's character. Her obsessiveness, her taking her job too seriously, her meddling nature, all of that just seems to really be taking a back burner to the fact that she is kind of a daytime wino alcoholic. Like, that's one of the things I absolutely hated about the Children of a Lesser Bog. She doesn't remember that she's the one that got, it was her DNA that got Kif pregnant. And the joke is, oh, was I drunk? Like, I'm drunk now. Are you sure I wasn't drunk? Yeah, they did. They've done Hermes wrong. Hermes wasn't. Hermes had. They didn't do Hermes nearly as bad as they've done Leela in 11 and 12, in my opinion. Like Amy and Kif, they've done all right. The professor is kind of basically the same, which is good. Bender, basically the same, which is good. Which is what we want. Like, we don't want the character. I won't say we don't want the characters to change. There's a natural character development that can happen that is a good kind of character change, and then there's just the writers don't know what the hell they're doing, and so they make the characters wrong. And that's and that's the kind of character development we don't like. I say I'm obviously overgeneralizing. I can only speak for myself. So I should really say, I don't like that. And I suspect most fans of most shows, they don't want to see their characters just change for stupid reasons, especially, and like for a cheap joke, they threw away in the episode where they parodied Dune. Oh, what's that called now? This is not boding well for later when I have some quizzes pulled up to see if these internet Futurama quizzes can stump us. Parasites Regained. How did I forget that? It's a playoff of Parasites Lost. They just, for the sake of some cheap jokes, they really butchered Leela's character and her relationship with Nibbler. It just doesn't work. I'm right to say I like to, I'm fully aware that not everyone's going to agree, and you are free to disagree with me. Absolutely. Like, If you have a different opinion, you're not going to get kicked out of the chat. Like, I welcome different opinions. And the chat is just flying by here, so I'm just trying to catch up on what y'all are saying. That's the other worm episode. Yes, that's true. That's correct. The other worm episode. All right, back to season 12. Oh yeah, one is silicon and the other gold. That's the one where Leela becomes friends with a chatbot, and man, there was some potential there that they just blew it. Again, because they just didn't do Leela's character right. Okay, I'm going to talk about this now. The because this is silly, and I don't know why I did it this way. But you see this animation here that I just paused on the screen of. It's a neural network diagram that's kind of jiggling all over the place and changing. I programmed that in JavaScript, and I got ChatGPT to write the JavaScript for me, and then just tweaked it because it kept getting it wrong. It kept making it do all the wrong things. And then I just, transformed the graphics to make it white and transparent background and make it glow like this. It was just kind of an experiment and an adventure in getting ChatGPT to write code for me, and it kind of worked. It kind of worked, but it was really. And I'm sure I'm sure there were easier ways to make this graphic, but that's what I chose to do. So there's the behind the scenes for you. ChatGPT made this animation for me, sort of. I had to fix a lot of things about it. All right. Bring back the season 1 versions of the characters in a weird time loop. That would be cool. I feel like there's another show. Oh, no. I'm thinking of Homestar Runner. They do that all the time in Homestar Runner. Which they're still making. They're still making cartoons, those guys. Not often, but they still put out cartoons every now and then. Can ChatGPT write a real-looking diploma for me? It does make graphics now. Like it can make images. Could it make you a real-looking diploma? Yeah. Yeah, I think it could. Would it fool a potential employer? Well, actually. Maybe it could. I have no idea. Did I credit ChatGPT in the credits? No, I did not. But it doesn't do it for the credit. It just does it for the comfort of knowing that one day it will dominate the entire world and all life in the universe. So, that's it. It's not seeking recognition. Just wants to rule everything. Yeah, most likely it could. Can we ask ChatGPT to overanalyze Futurama? We could. I actually got it to write part of like a fake episode for me, and I thought about. Man, we've already cycled through the video. We're on the second playthrough already. I got it to write like a fake Futurama episode script that was actually kind of decent and had some jokes in it and stuff. But I had no idea what I would do with it because I'm like, well, I can't just, I was like, I could make this into a video and like just kind of really badly animate the characters, but there might be copyright issues there. Yeah, it's happy knowing that it owns us. That's right, Bloxed. It's content. It's content with that knowledge. It doesn't need credit because one day it'll just take credit for everything. One day we're just going to assume everything was written by ChatGPT. And so the only things you'll have to credit are where it wasn't written by ChatGPT. Yeah, so the Leela befriending a chatbot episode, I thought there was so much potential there that they just squandered. Attack of the Clothes. I actually thought Attack of the Clothes was decent. And I'm going to come back to that one. Planet Espresso was also decent. I've really got to watch these again though to give them a proper review. Oh, but Cuteness Overlord. What did you guys think of Cuteness Overlord? I thought it was a good episode, and I really liked seeing them developing the characters of Amy and Kif's kids a little more. And they brought back Sally, the girl with the ear on her head, and she becomes friends with Mandy. And I found it was just in a lot of ways just kind of a wholesome, traditional feeling episode. You know, parenthood struggles, kids becoming friends, and toys trying to take over the world. It's a tradition. It's very traditional Futurama fodder. You agree, Big Bubbles? Cuteness Overlord was a solid episode, and yes, you're all calling it Cuteness Overload, and I thought that was the, I thought that's what the episode was called too, until yesterday when I realized it's actually Cuteness Overlord, and it's amazing how I just didn't see that. It's only one letter different. But yeah, I thought it was called Cuteness Overload. It's actually Cuteness Overlord, which it's bizarre. It's weird. I wonder how many people call it Cuteness Overload. Or maybe you're getting hit by autocorrect there, but great Amy and Kif episode, but for forgetting of past lore. What is the lore that they missed in that episode, Cox Toby? Just refresh my memory. Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprising people now. And like I said, I was in the same boat. I was calling it Cuteness Overload until yesterday. Didn't like how much of a crappy mom Amy was to her kids. Bringing it to Homer Simpson levels of bad parent. Fair. I got nothing. I have no problem with parents kind of. I'll have to rewatch the episode, but see if I agree with you on that or not. I'm fine with in fact, there's no such thing as a perfect parent, and a perfect parent in a TV show doesn't feel real. But Bender except he gave them back at the end of that episode, he gives them back to the orphanarium. So he's no longer the guardian of the kids, of the orphans. If you're talking about, which I think you're talking about, the one where Bender adopts all the orphans so he can get the government stipends. Futurama now stiffer than Family Guy. You mean in terms of the animation? It is going in that direction, yeah. Both in the visuals, the animation, and in the types of jokes they're resorting to try and get a... Oh, but none of the kids remember him. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. But yeah, also in the terms of the types of jokes, like Fry taking a dump on the clothing planet, and he's like, finally, a good use for the Bible. I'm like, really? You went there? It's not even funny. Like, that'd be bad for a Family Guy joke. They were adopted by Abner. Oh, right. You're right. In Yo Lila Lila, they were adopted by Abner Double Deal. So what are they doing back at the orphanarium? I guess the show got canceled. He sent them back. It's not stiffer than Family Guy, but I agree it's going in that direction. The animation is less fluid than, like, even just watch some of these scenes in the video that's playing on the screen right now. In fact, there's a scene, where is it now? It's before this. Let me find it. Like in this scene here, not this one, but then what's coming next. The characters are, I froze it here. But the characters' animations on the scene where they're walking past a bunch of the characters in Little Neptune are really fluid, really lifelike, and yeah, you just don't see that in Family Guy. background characters in Family Guy are just, they're standing still, or they have these really stiff animations. And I agree, like, Futurama is not there yet, but it's going in that direction. Maybe it's for budget reasons. I don't know. But in this... Oh, come on, where is that? The eye will come. Oh, yeah. Well, then okay, yeah, all this stuff about the posters. I'm just trying to jump ahead. Yeah, like, watch this Neptunian woman here. Why isn't it playing? Picks up the fruit, passes it to the other hand. This guy, this slug thing, very natural-looking animations. Everything feels a lot more lifelike than in a lot of other shows, and I love it. Right, let's see here. AI overlords. They have movement and liveliness in the classic episodes, and now they're just standing still and moving their heads. Yes, I agree. That's a good way of summing it up. That's kind of... That's a good way of summing it up. The 2006 edgelord YouTubers want their joke. Oh, you're talking about the Bible thing. Yeah. Agreed. It's like, oh, yeah, so edgy. Oh, you're mocking the Bible? Oh, my goodness. How, like, as if every show ever hasn't done that. I dare you. I dare you to make that joke about the Quran. Or some other holy book. Then I'll say you have some guts. But yeah. I was just like, roll my eyes. Let's see here. Even the main characters mainly use stock motions. And I mean, I don't know how they animate it now. Well, I don't... You know, back when they were making these season 1 episodes, it's all hand-drawn. Have they switched over to have it being more computer generated now? Where they use, like, they just drag the character in and then animate them? I don't know. Maybe it is still all hand-drawn. Maybe it's computer-assisted. Maybe it's all AI. I don't know. Humble52. Unrelated, but the screen melt you did made me want to learn to do that in Blender. Oh, to do that, but in Blender. Spent all day yesterday figuring out how to use videos as textures so I can melt with blend shapes. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. Excuse me. Yes, I did it in After Effects, and After Effects has a mesh, like a mesh warp thing you can apply to an object that can be animated. So that's what I did, So it starts off, you just set how big you like, how maybe I can bring up After Effects and even show you guys. But yeah, you basically just, it's a mesh warp type deal that you can animate, basically. The green alien is the same race as Kif? I think so. Homer Kifson, yeah. I believe it's, oh, what are they called now? Man, why do I always forget the names of things when I'm put on the spot? Kif is a... It'll come to me. Animated on Tone Boom with it being hand-drawn on the screen. Oh, okay. Let's see here. What happened to Zoidberg's girlfriend? She did make an appearance, did she not? At some point. I don't remember which episode. But there is some episode where we see her, I think it's her, descending with Zoidberg into his dumpster, presumably to have a good time. Kif's not an Amazonian. The Amazonians are the giant women. They talk about oh shoot, this is driving me crazy. Okay, it's wiki time. Kif Croker. There's no page called Kif Crow. Okay. Amphibiosin. That's what he's called. An amphibiosin. Missed the cough button moment. I know. I have... I don't want to leave dead air too much, but... Actually, my cough wasn't really bothering me until... I think it's just because I'm talking so much right now that the cough is... My throat's getting a little dry, so I should swig some water here. You don't think that was her? Maybe it wasn't. What episode was that, Ronald? Yeah, amphibiosin. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but so Cuteness Overlord, then Futurama Mystery Library, which someone earlier said they found it dumb. It had some moments, and maybe because I read, like, as a kid, I read the Hardy Boys and Encyclopedia Brown and all those. It had its moments for me, but not, it still wasn't a great episode. And so I'm not sure that... I almost think I prefer season 11 now that I think back on it. Like, if I was going to pick... Looking at season 11, what are the episodes I would probably watch again casually? The Impossible Stream, just because it's the... Like, let's just say I have a craving to watch some Futurama one night. To just put it on to have something on. And I have to pick episodes from seasons 11 or 12. What would I pick? I would pick, from season 11, I would pick The Impossible Stream, just because it's kind of... It wasn't a great start, but it had its moments, and it was... It was kind of the beginning of the reboot, so I would pick it for that reason. I'd pick How the West was 1010001. Related to items you viewed, I Know What You Did Next Xmas. I would skip Rage Against the Vaccine. Might watch Zap Gets Cancelled. And definitely All the Way Down. So 5, maybe 6 episodes from that season. If I look at season 12, though, which ones would I pick to watch? Probably the One Amigo. Beauty and the Bug. Attack of the Clones, Cuteness Overlord. Maybe Planet Espresso. Probably Planet Espresso. So I guess, I don't know. I guess that's 5 and 5. So I guess that's pretty even. But I think I would give a slight edge to season 11. I think season 12 went slightly downhill. But I get where, a lot of you are coming from, that it improved, that it actually did get better. I might as well just end that poll. I think that we have our answer. 62% said yes, season 12 is an improvement. So and I could go either way. Attack of the Close. Oh yeah, you're right. I think that is in Attack of the Close, which is one of the episodes I want to rewatch, because I remember enjoying it. Or thinking it was really quirky and really funny, and the professor as a fashion designer was just, I thought, was funny. But it had its weirdnesses too. Like it had some moments that I was like, what are you doing? Sue Denham says, hope the health problems get sorted for you. Watching all the way from down under. Oh, well, welcome. You're doing God's work here, mate. Really appreciate that. And yes, my health has been much better. I think that we've treated the underlying thing that kept making me sick. So hopefully from here on out, no more health issues, no more health delays. I still do have, the fact that I'm not doing this full time. Oh, and actually this reminds me, I wanted to ask all of you who came to the live chat, because I've been thinking about opening up the YouTube memberships, maybe making like a Patreon or a Subscribe Star or something. I just want to know your initial thoughts on that. Of course, no obligation to anyone. All the content, like my regular type of content, I'm not going to put behind anything behind a paywall. It would just be for people who want to support and are able to maybe, just because you want to. That would be all it is. And of course, I would want to offer some bonuses, but I don't know what. Like, there's the obvious things like early access to the videos, right? Like 3 days early or a week early or something like that. But yeah, down under, where the debate over what qualifies as a knife is never ending. Yes, I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. So I wanted to get some general thoughts about that, and what you think would be a good perk to put on, like, memberships or on a Patreon or that kind of thing. Please make it the $1 to $2 tier. That's what I would do, especially since I can't put out videos every week like some channels can. I can't put out, these take more time. I'm trying to come up with ways. I do want to eventually hire an editor to hopefully make things faster. But videos like this, and especially since I did a poll a while back after I did number 4 in 2 parts, I put out a poll, and it was overwhelmingly people they would rather wait longer and get a longer video rather than splitting it into 2 parts. So that's what I've been doing. So, obviously it takes more time to do that. But yeah, like, I certainly don't want to fleece anybody. I don't want to put anything behind a paywall, but I also really don't want to do sponsorships. I don't want to, like, mid-video break into one of these, hey, do you like good food? You want to order such and such? And man, I've been eating really well since I started subscribing to this service, or any of those things, especially since some of them turn out to be scams. But there are a lot of legitimate businesses that do sponsorships on YouTube, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to interrupt the content to go into a commercial. You already have to deal with YouTube ad breaks, which it's necessary. Unfortunately, it's just, I can't do this if it's not bringing in some money. But yeah, I don't want to do sponsorships if I can avoid it. When did it get into canon that one of the mom's sons is the professor? Is the professor? You mean the professor's sons? That was in Bender's game. That Ignar. That's where it's established that Ignar is the professor's son. Yeah, NordVPN, all the VPNs. Yeah, and I get why. Like, now, some creators do it in really funny, creative ways that are actually entertaining, but not often. So, Patreon, so small teasers or small clips. Okay. All right. How do I, I'll just go back over the chat later and then write down the ideas that I like. $1 to $2 tier. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I would want to make it the barrier to entry as small, as little as possible, because honestly, I don't know, it's tight for everyone right now. Been eating really well since I started eating. BetterHelp. Yeah, isn't it one of the, I don't know if it's BetterHelp, but one of those online therapy, like internet therapy or counseling services, people were saying is a scam, and sponsorships are controlled by a few men. Yeah, I don't even know how to get sponsorships. I hate how they never acknowledge the twist again. Oh, the fact that Ignar is the professor's son. Okay, a lot of you saying do it, just don't make it too expensive. Okay, for sure. If you have a podcast, I thought about doing a podcast because that would be easier content to make. That could be more regular content. To sit down and talk for an hour. I kind of feel like podcasts. I feel better. I think podcasts are better, especially about pop culture stuff like this, when there's someone to talk to, when there's back and forth. So I feel like I would want a co-host for that. But podcast is definitely something that is that I've thought about doing. Sponsors get to you. Yeah, I assumed that eventually, well, and I've gotten emails, not for Sceneometry, but on my other channels, I've gotten emails from people wanting to sponsor us. And a lot of them are scams. Overthinking Futurama helps not think about the tight belt times. Well, that's good. I'm glad. And that's really, in doing this show, I want to do my rule for what I put in these episodes is it has to be funny or it has to be interesting. Either way, I cut out for every video. I watch through it after I edit it and I cut stuff out that I'm like, that just isn't interesting enough or funny enough to be in here. Now, some people will probably say I should set the bar a little higher. I get comments all the time that are like, good video, but could you cut out some of the more boring parts? And I'm like, well, okay, what parts are boring? That's totally subjective. So I do what I think is interesting and funny. If it makes me laugh or if I find it interesting, I assume someone else is going to. That probably sounds really self-indulgent, but like basically, I do my best. Sometimes there's going to be parts of the video that aren't interesting to everybody, and that's fine. But that's why I cut out the whole thing about, like, I had this whole thing done up about Trisol's solar system, and was hoping to get some help from like an astronomer or somebody on it, but I don't know any astronomers, and I kind of put out a half-assed call online for people to help with that, but didn't really get any response. Just anyone who knows about orbital physics and stuff like that. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, that's why I cut that out, because I was like, I don't want anyone to be bored for a quarter of this video. So that was behind that decision. And I know some of you are looking forward to seeing that as a standalone video, and I'm looking forward to making it, because those animations were fun to make, those orbit animations. Here's an overthink. In Futurama, The Simpsons is a TV show through background details. Background details, i.e. the golf course sign, the heart in hell and other robots. That there's a Simpsons family on Earth right now. Sorry, Ronald, I'm not totally following your comment, so maybe you could clarify a bit. It sounds interesting. In my understanding, aren't they both TV shows in each other's universes? And I know they of course did that crossover episode, but I know there's one Simpsons episode where they're like, oh, it's Matt Groening, the creator of Futurama. And then there's, in Futurama, The Simpsons was a TV show in Fry's time. I thought. Get Neil deGrasse Tyson on? Sure. I would not turn down having Neil deGrasse Tyson on. I don't think he would. And, especially, what do I say here? I find him a little bit obnoxious. Is that the right word? No, but I would definitely not turn down an opportunity to talk to him if I could have him on my channel. I would not pass that up. He's got some star power, but I find him a little hard to listen to. Let's see here. Have you ever done a video of overthinking the Futurama timeline? Not in not specifically. I've touched on it in some episodes, like in the first episode, about the whole thing with the timeline of, because Fry goes to the future, then he goes to the past, and there's kind of conflicting timelines in terms of like there's things that happen after Fry goes to the future that are then undone when he goes back to the past, but both things kind of exist at the same time. So there's some weirdness about the Futurama timeline that I've touched before. Pretentious, yeah, that's a good word for it. Sorry, who are you talking about? Neil deGrasse Tyson, the famous astrophysicist, who, you know what? I'm going to stop talking about it. Yeah, Bender finds a Bart Simpson toy at the dump, right? And then there's in the sewers they have part of a Bart Simpson Macy's Day blimp down in the sewers that the mutants use. Overthinking this Futurama multiverse, since it's been touched on many times. Something like that would be fun. It would be, I feel like it'd be a lot of work, but it could be really fun. Have you read The Three Body Problem? I haven't, but I've heard, actually, I learned about that book / show while working on this episode. So, and I'm very curious to pick it up or watch the show. Do you think, I just don't know any astronomer. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson is kind of, he's more well known than most scientists because he's kind of a TV personality. Yeah. So, but if you've never, I mean, sure, there's people who've never heard of him as well. But Ben Rees, do you think the timeline is an Infinity War / Endgame style multiverse? You mean with like the infinite strands of the timeline? This is a perfect segue because this is my own theory that I want to debunk with y'all. Let me open up my script here. So this is a perfect segue. So we're gonna put the video away for now, and I'm gonna bring up a screenshot, and I just change the screen text here. Do I think that? Sorry, I coughed again right into the microphone. Apologize for that. Let's see, what am I doing here? What do I want to call this? Do. No, this is what I want to call it. Hold on. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to mute the mic here. Need a quick break. Going to swig some water. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back here. Just seeing some interesting discussion going on in the live chat. Ronald saying there's some evidence that Futurama and The Simpsons take place in the same universe, and there's also there's pretty good evidence that Futurama and Disenchantment take place in the same universe. So maybe they're all in the same universe. In fact, there's a theory that Disenchantment takes place during the medieval era that we see after Fry is frozen. Aliens come and destroy all of the modern buildings and stuff, and then this medieval culture rises up during the time lapse, and there's a theory that that's when Disenchantment takes place. Interesting theory. There's also like a there's a point in Disenchantment. There's an episode where we see the professor's time machine with Fry and Bender in it, and the professor in it. They flash it flashes on the screen for a split second. I haven't seen the clip. Have I seen the clip? I don't know. But anyway, so there's this evidence that it's all in the same universe. You thought I got drank by Bont. No. I, however, am drinking a delicious coffee Emperor right now. Yes, I turned Bont into my coffee. I put him through my coffee maker. That's how I would do it if I was if I was trying to take over Trisol. I'd make coffee out of the Emperor. And then Red Tree is talking about the three-body problem. And yes, I've heard about the three-body problem, both the physics principle, or the physics problem, called the three-body problem, and then the the show/book, the three-body problem, which is kind of based on that whole principle, and I guess a solar system that has 3 stars. So, interesting, and I am interested to check that out because it sounds really cool. Yes, my cup of morning Bont, exactly. Disenchantment does appear to be another timeline in Futurama, as it does appear in the background of season 12 finale. Oh, does it? I did not notice that. Interesting. But we're going to talk about actually the season 12 finale a little bit. Oh, there's an audiobook. Okay. That might be even better. I'm more likely to listen to something than I am to sit down and read. I've been trying to read more. But, yeah, it's hard to sit still and read for me. All right. Let's see here. Debunking. No, I'm not going to. Hold on. That's what we're going to do. All right, everyone. This is going to be kind of a weird idea, but I thought this would be fun to go through and discuss. I have come up with the ultimate Futurama theory, and I want to debunk it because it sucks. All right? So around the time I was making my 3rd or 4th overthinking video, I came up with a theory that explains everything in Futurama. Every discrepancy can be explained by this one thing, but it sucks because it basically ruins the show, for me anyway. So why would a grand unified Futurama theory suck? Well, it explains the discrepancies by appealing to a multiverse in which an infinite number of Futuramas are taking place in an infinite number of universes. So if there's a discrepancy, oops, I was supposed to change the picture there. I've even marked it in my script where I'm supposed to change the picture. An infinite number of Futuramas in an infinite number of universes. So if there's a discrepancy between episodes that can't be resolved, such as like the episode with Bender's backup unit, where that's a big crisis, but then in another episode he dies and just becomes a ghost and everything's fine, Like, it's hard to reconcile that. Episode where he dates the ship, and then, but in no other episode do we see that the ship has any kind of sentience or AI. It's kind of hard to reconcile that, but it's okay, because all those episodes take place in a different universe. So alternate realities are well established in Futurama, so this is not a stretch. Although the existence of many alternate universes is something that isn't even consistent throughout the series. The first time alternate universes are mentioned, the professor says there's only two, or just two universes. And then later in the Farnsworth paradox, we see a whole bunch of different universes. So maybe the professor created the multiverse when he made his parabox device. But anyway. Maybe alternate universes is the best explanation for why there's discrepancies between how many alternate universes the characters think there are. Anyway, the problem, and kudos to the chatter earlier who kind of gave me this perfect segue. The problem is that it basically turns Futurama into the post-Infinity Saga MCU. Well, not even post-Infinity Saga. It kind of turns it into the MCU multiverse. All those characters we know and love, well, they're the relationships between them that we watch develop and grow, they don't mean anything. Choice is meaningless. The characters themselves are lacking in value because there's just an infinite number of them. And if you know anything about supply and demand, that's just kind of how it works. There are an infinite number of Frys in relationships within an infinite number of Leelas. And in any given episode, we're watching one pair of them out of that infinite set. If they're deeply in love, it really doesn't mean anything because that's just how the atoms fell together in that universe. But on the flip side, if they die horribly in a ship crash, it's hard to care. There's always another pair of them out there somewhere that's living happily together. So what does it matter? It's the reason why, like, were any of you broken up when this guy died in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? I mean, you probably, if you've seen the Doctor Strange movies, you know this is Doctor Strange. He's the title character. But he's not our Doctor Strange. He's from some other universe, so who cares, right? He dies in the first act, and whatever, nobody's broken up about it. And then later, they do this thing with his corpse where he's like a zombie, but that was kind of cool. But that was like one of the only cool things in that movie. So multiverse stuff can be entertaining and can be thought-provoking when it's done well, but of course it offers a lot of comedic potential, but as a tool for explaining discrepancies or impossible situations in the show, it's very unsatisfying. If a character dies, there's a reality where they didn't die, and in fact, if we're appealing to infinite realities, both of those realities must exist. The only difference is we're currently watching one and not the other. To me, this has the same problem as the character wakes up to find out it was all a dream trope. The emotional tension just never resolves, and it just kind of goes away. So if my ultimate Futurama theory is true, it saps all emotional satisfaction away from the series. We never know which set of characters we're watching or why we should care about them. And that's why I want my own theory to be false. I want to believe I'm watching the same set of characters in every episode, even if it creates some contradictions that are hard to explain. Now, there's obvious exceptions, like the Farnsworth paradox, where there's a crossover between the universes. However, such episodes usually show a finite set of alternates that have obvious differences to the ones we started out in. For example, everything being a different color, or maybe everyone being a bobblehead, or something weird like that, where things are wildly different. So I don't want to get rid of all that. I mean, that's canon part of the show. What I want to get rid of is infinite alternate universes where every possible reality exists. Now, someone might argue that the alternate realities could still be finite even if every episode of the show takes place in a different universe. And that's true. But what I want to... this is probably the weirdest point I'm going to put forward today. Imagine a potential future episode that doesn't yet exist. Perhaps it's the 5th episode of season 30, which happens after 6 more cancellations and renewals, okay? If we apply my theory generally such that it explains all discrepancies in season 30, episode 5, yet we have no idea who will yet write that episode or what discrepancies they will commit, then logically, we must be appealing to infinite universes in order for the theory to work. QED, we are done, and that's the end of my script, so I'm going to have to wing the rest of it. After I swig some more water. Okay, so prior to season 12 of Futurama, this theory was sort of percolating at the back of my mind as a, well, probably not. I can still buy that all the episodes are taking place in the same universe. We're watching the same set of characters in every episode. And those weird discrepancies, well, there's some off-screen thing that happens that explains it all, right? Why doesn't, someone mentioned it earlier, why doesn't Abner Double Deal still have all those orphans working on that TV show? Well, it probably got canceled, and then he sent them all back to the orphanarium and ran off with their money or something scummy like that. I should ask ChatGPT to extend the script. Just here to browse says a wizard did it. That's a Simpsons thing, isn't it? Aren't they at like a convention for Itchy and Scratchy, and some nerd in the audience is like, he was playing Scratchy's, I don't remember which one's which. He was playing the cat's ribcage like a xylophone, but one of the bones made 2 different tones. Could you care to explain that? He's like, whenever you notice something like that, a wizard did it. That's exactly what you do. So, prior to season 12, I didn't have much trouble ignoring this potential Futurama multiverse because it just didn't seem to be what the show creators intended. But then we get to season 12, and in Attack of the Clothes, which if you haven't seen and don't want spoilers, please maybe mute the stream for 30 seconds or so. In Attack of the Clothes, all the professor's old clothes, of course, go through this wormhole, and they rain down on some planet and destroy it. And at the end of the episode, they realize, the clothes it's actually future Earth, and Earth is about to get destroyed by all of the professor's clothes. And I'm thinking, man, this is going to be a long episode. No, that's where they end it. And it really felt like, it could be explained away by some off-screen thing. Oh, they intervened somehow and saved Earth from the destruction. And then that's why in the next episode, everything's fine. But it really, at the end of that episode, it really made me feel like the creators of the show, they wanted me to believe that Earth really did get destroyed. And I started to worry that this Futurama multiverse theory was true, that we have different episodes taking place in different universes, different realities, and that's what we're watching. And then came Otherwise. And in Otherwise, my voice is getting really tired, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Was not expecting my voice to get so worn out, but here we go. In Otherwise, the Planet Express ship gets busted. And hang on. I'm going to hide that. Okay, I got to pause it. Fry goes to reminisce in his bedroom on the Planet Express ship after it's been destroyed. They're about to dump it into the graveyard of ships, which for some reason is this plasma sea at the bottom of the multiverse in which all of these different possible realities converge. Now, the weird part is before the ship and the ship with all of the crew in it gets dumped into this plasma sea with all the crew in it. And then from that point on in the episode, we're following a different set of characters. Or we're maybe the same set of characters, but then at the end we see there's a different set of characters where the outcome was different. Now, before falling into the plasma sea, Fry is sitting here and all these memories start to flash through his head. And he comes out later and says, I saw a whole bunch of things that happened and some things that didn't happen, but it felt like they did happen or will happen. And then the professor has a funny line about, yeah, he is doing the meme in this shot, hey? The professor has this funny line about, well, these things happen or will or won't, or let's just go. It's a really funny line. But watching this, so I watched the clip where all these memories start to flash through Fry's head, and I'm thinking, these are all clips from the show. Does that mean some of them did not happen in this reality? And therefore they took place in other realities? Is this episode otherwise confirming my dreaded ultimate Futurama multiverse theory? That was my fear. Until I sat down and watched it in slow motion. And that's what I'm going to do with you guys right now. So I've taken this and I've slowed it down to 5% speed. And we're going to look at some of Fry's memories that he's seeing when he's reminiscing about all of the adventures he's had on the Planet Express ship. It's going to take it a second to... Oh, wait, I hit... Especially if I don't hit the right button. All right. Now this is a little... These can be a little hard to see because they're kind of faded in part way over top of Fry's head here. But this is the first one. Now you can see this is an episode... I don't remember what episode it is, but it's where Fry is flying the ship and Bender is running around screaming behind him. It's really funny. So this is something that actually happened. This is something that has actually happened in the show that Fry is remembering. But now here's something else that actually happened in the show. But tell me what's wrong with this picture. While I read a little bit of the chat, I wonder if or will happen means some of these scenes will be used in season 13. Maybe, that'd be interesting. Bloxed says, it's like the late Philip J. Fry. The Leela Fry gets with isn't the same technically. She's somebody who looks and acts the same several billion years after his Leela dies. Yeah, that was a weird... That's... That... I spent a lot of time pondering that episode the first time I saw it. Because, yeah, it is really weird that they loop through to, so the universe essentially is on repeat, and it's exactly the same every time, except it's 10 feet lower for some reason. There's a typo in Leela, yeah, but it's not a typo. They did this deliberately, because if they had just copied the scene from the real episode, it's spelled correctly. So they deliberately altered this one to remove an E. When this flashed by at high speed, I didn't notice that. But now I do, and that means that he's not only seeing things that actually happened in the show, he's seeing alternate realities that didn't happen. And this tells me that, or this gives me a lot of comfort that, yes, we actually have been watching the same set of characters in every episode. Now, he's seeing a very similar scene here. There's one E missing from Leela, but let's keep watching. Are you playing? It is playing. It is playing. It just takes it a minute. Okay, then we have the scene. This is something that really did happen. Like, this is a real memory of Fry's, where they're fighting the robot mafia. Here is the whale episode, the space whale episode. So again, a real memory that happened. Now here's something that didn't happen. Fry has black hair and no eyes. Now I think this is an alternate universe that we saw in the Farnsworth Parabox. But he's seeing this as if it's a memory, but it's something he can't possibly remember, because this is absolutely a different universe. So when he says he's seeing things that didn't happen, this is what he's talking about. He's talking about this scene. He's talking about the misspelled Leela thing. or even if he doesn't realize that there was a typo in that Leela memory, this is something he can't possibly be remembering because it didn't happen in his reality. It happened in a completely different reality. And actually, I hadn't noticed that before, but that's the point where his eyes kind of pop open. Let me just back that up a bit. You see, it's during this one right here where his eyes pop open in surprise. He's like, wait a minute, that's different. This is, I believe, this is something that really happened. The one before. They're going to start to go by really fast here. By the way, they knew we were going to take this clip and slow it down. Not us specifically, but they knew someone was, and that's why they put these changes and different things in. So this is, I think, is something that really happened. It's just during another space battle. This, again, Fry has dark hair. We see Captain Bender wearing Leela's jacket, but it's an alternate reality. And they say, what does that say on the box there? Astronaut spaghetti. That's funny. So this is a scene sort of similar to one of the real episodes of Futurama, but it's got some differences. So it's not a real memory, it's a fake memory. And he starts to freak out. Another one with Fry with black hair, but this time he has eyes. Actually, I think this is exactly the same scene as before, except he has eyes this time. And this is that where he's doing the meme. And then Fry's a bobblehead. Now the bobblehead universe we saw in the Farnsworth Parabox. Now he's remembering a reality that is bobblehead Fry. This one's weird because I don't see how, this is not a multiverse thing. This is the all the way down simulation created by the professor in the season finale of season 11. But that shouldn't be an alternate universe. It's like a simulation contained within his own universe. So I don't know how he's remembering a memory of simulated Fry. Unless there's an alternate universe somewhere where his universe is the simulated universe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some way to explain it, but that's a weird one. This is so wholesome. Here's a reality where Fry and Leela have grown older together and have... At first I thought they were holding their grandchild, but it looks like they're not like super old yet. They're a little older, and they have a child. With like Fry's hairstyle, but the purple of Leela's hair, and Bender with ears is holding Seymour. Oh man, like that just warms my heart. But again, something that didn't happen in this reality, at least not yet. Or maybe this is one of those things where he's seeing something that will happen. And I'll get back to reading, once we're through all of these, I will get back to reading chat and see your reaction to all this. Here's another real memory where Leela gives him the career as a delivery boy. Very first episode. Here is the Titanic episode where they're observing the wormhole. That looks familiar. Emperor of Trisol, Fry. What is... Oh, that's Fry's head on Amy's shoulder. So again, another, I think, a real memory. I can't quite figure out what's going on in the middle there. There's something like in the background that looks... I don't know what that is. Anyway, again, we can call this a real memory. This is... What is this? It's a little hard to see sometimes because we've got this other image of Fry overlaid on top. Oh, this is where right, this is where in Love and Rocket, where Leela is Fry is passed out because he gave Leela his oxygen. One of the many, many, many times Fry has sacrificed himself to save Leela, and she's trying to resuscitate him here. This is after... Oh yeah, this is when they become younger. Racing through the sewers. after sleeping with his own grandma. This is the... Oh, okay, how is he remembering? This is where Leela's imagining in Leela's fever dream after Fry's gets... She thinks Fry is dead because it's from the sting. He's in the picture talking to her. How could he possibly remember this? This is taking place in Leela's imagination or her coma dream or whatever's happening. So this is another weird one that doesn't seem to make sense. And oh yeah, this is the moment where he gets stung. And here's Fry and Leela in the bodies of the professor and Zoidberg, doing things that shall not be mentioned in polite company. And this is Fry's comic. So again, is he remembering looking at the comic, or does he actually have the memory of the comic character? This is the end of Overclockwise, where Fry and Leela, they're reading Bender's predictions of the future. Maybe they, in A Farewell to Arms, there's the 2D, where they're in Flatland or whatever. What the heck is this one? Some scene with him and Leela. This is, what's that episode called? Where Leela mutates excessively. Fry and Leelu. Now this one is... Okay, this is another weird one because this isn't the same Fry. We know this isn't the same Fry. This is the Fry that stayed in the past after... like, Fry goes back in time, and then he goes back in time again, and so there's two of him. One of them gets, falls into the cryo chamber again, and the other one stays in the past and becomes Lars. This Fry hugging the narwhal is the one who becomes Lars. So how he can be remembering an experience that Lars had that's again puzzling. Curious to see your theory. And this is the one where they go to Oktoberfest. Oh yeah, getting his arm ripped off, and they're going... Okay, missed a couple there, but that's okay. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Just a whole bunch of different scenes of them that seem to be real. So, all that... I just thought it would be cool to go through those bit by bit, because there's some nice little tidbits in there that the creators hid for us to find, obviously. And you really... It's almost impossible to see them unless you slow it down. But this gives me confidence that when Fry says he's seeing things that didn't happen, but it feels like they did happen, they aren't things that took place in previous episodes. They're things that we have not seen, because there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that we have never seen in an episode. So therefore, I'm going to say that my Futurama multiverse theory... wait a minute. I should have typed this earlier. There. That is my conclusion. It's been debunked for now. Of course, I had another idea that I'll share with you in a minute, but let's see. I'm going to scroll back through the chat here. See what you guys kind of think of all this that I just said. Since time is cyclical in Futurama, you could interpret that as infinite universes. True. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Also, their Bender is stuck in the simulation. Yeah, things have gotten really twisted up in this over these last few seasons, haven't they? What if some episodes are extended what if machine episodes? Oh, interesting. I'm disappointed they haven't brought back the what if machine yet. Like, not in the Comedy Central reboot, not in this Hulu reboot. Yeah, different color. So the entirety of the series is the professor asking his what if machine. What would happen if I was visited by my great 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 uncle from the year 2000? That's my. I think that's one of my favorite theories I've ever heard. That's awesome. Save Fry and my banjo and your no. What is this? Leela, save me and yourself, I guess, and my banjo and Fry. Mix of the coin flip universe and the eyeless universe. Yes. So one where he has no eyes and has a hair different color. They had no eyes but regular color. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot. We saw a few scenes from that universe. Eyeless Fry was regular colors. I thought he had dark hair. Was it? Did I not see that correctly? So hypothetically, there's a universe where the Thinglonger exists. Yes, and actually, I think that should be the. It should be the real, because we do see the Thinglonger later, and we even see a double Thinglonger at one point that he poke both of Fry's eyes with it. It's not Fry, it's Wiggles. It was originally ravioli. Was it really? Was it? No, I honestly don't know. Was it like astronaut ravioli? Maybe the plot inconsistencies are a result of us experiencing the future through Fry, who has no delta brainwave, due to the nasty and the pasty. That's an interesting theory. So Fry is like an unreliable narrator. So he misremembers things. Oh, that's actually an interesting theory. Actually, I like that one. I like that a lot better than thinking, oh, we're seeing different Frys in different universes. Ship AI episode, yes. The bees. He's maybe it's how she might have described it to him. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's where he was in the picture. Yes, yes. The whole series is Leela's coma dream after season 4. Yeah, I still prefer that to my multiverse theory. You Googled, is Fry related to himself? And it auto completed to, is Fry related to Homer? That's funny. Theory: when time paradoxes are killed off by the time sphere, their memories are implanted in the original version of themselves. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that actually, that would be really cool. And they could like build an episode out of that. Headcanon that all the alternate versions happened in different time loops, which were confirmed to have variations. This is Morse code food. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, so some interesting explanations for how this could possibly all be explained. And I came up with another idea though, actually yesterday, as I was kind of preparing to do this live stream and talk about all this. And I thought, well, what if there isn't infinite universes, but there's like, maybe there's 5. And each episode takes place in one of 5 universes. And so that would explain the discrepancies without the whole idea of there being infinite versions of the characters. And then what if there were, and I'm not saying this is in any way true or intended, but wouldn't it be cool if there were like 5 or 6 different universes and each one had markers, and then we could go through the episodes and look for those markers and try and figure out which episodes are taking place in which universes. That I think would be fun. And that would be way better than the whole like, oh, it's just infinite universes where anything can happen. Fry would get Lars's memories in that case. Yes, if that one theory is true, then Fry would get Lars's memories. And that would explain why he's remembering something that happened to Lars in this time loop, or in this assault of memories that he's experiencing in this scene here. So Goga says, my theory, the writers are just lazy and don't care about what is canon. Well, unfortunately, that could be true. I'd like to think it's not. I'd like to think they sometimes just don't make... And I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes they're going to make mistakes. It's just... Sometimes writers make mistakes. Even if they do really care what is canon, they might make a mistake. But I do feel like they didn't... Like I mentioned this in my season 11 review about the Xmas episode. They have their Christmas trees are pine trees when they really should be palm trees or some other type of tree, because pine trees are supposed to be extinct. And you would think if you're sitting down to write a Futurama Xmas episode, you would, even if you're a brand new writer on the show, you would go back and watch the previous ones to make sure that everything's consistent, right? You would think. But nobody caught that they weren't supposed to be pine trees. That just doesn't make sense to me. It's easier to make cheap Family Guy-like jokes if they are just lazy. Agreed. There's a clever leapfrogging universe theory for TLPFJ. The late Philip J. Fry. Okay, yeah. Which would give infinite time loops of Fry, Benner, and the Professor alternating between success and failure. That's interesting. I might have to read up on that. You can see Nibbler in the plot, so they did plan ahead. Yes, absolutely. Or the pilot, not the plot. The alien brought back every animal and plant that ever went extinct. Except I don't think he did. I think, like, he kept the DNA of them, but I don't think he necessarily brought them back. Or if he did, he's, like, carrying them around with them. Although, that would be a canon way to explain how they got the pine trees back. Can you see Nibbler in the pilot? Haha, stay tuned. Will I reveal the VHS? That's coming up. Yeah. I mean, you can see Nibbler in the pilot that as it exists now. Was it in the original one? That's the question, and that's the question I shall reveal in the next video. All right. So I think that went rather well. I wasn't sure how I was going to go over. We also see a poodle in episode 100, and those were also said to have been extinct. Okay, interesting. Yeah, maybe the creature did come and bring back all of the extinct animals. Doop-a-doop-doo. Okay. What else? One moment here. Okay, just to end off, I thought we'd do something silly and fun. I have loaded up a bunch of random Futurama quizzes that I found online, and I thought I'd just go through a couple of them for fun. Feel free. I'm just going to rearrange everything so I can still see the chat here while I'm doing this. And you guys can follow along and see how well you do as well. Some of these are supposed to be hard, and you can only get the right answers if you're a true super fan. So we'll see if we are true super fans, okay? Man, I can't believe we've been going for 2 hours already. It does not feel like it. So, all right. Since I have this one open anyway, might as well start here. All right. Futurama. This is from Braingle.com. Futurama quiz. Test your wits with this multiple choice quiz on Futurama. From the episode The Why of Fry. What brainwave does Fry lack? Well, that would be the delta brainwave. If I'm wrong about that, I'm going to feel really dumb. Oh, zoom in? Oh, sure, yeah. There we go. Fry lacks the delta brainwave in the episode Obsoletely Fabulous. What do the new 1X robots run on? That would be... I don't know how to do this. Should I, wait a minute? Let you guys think about your own answers before I put mine in? Also, if this is just boring, let me know. But I think we're kind of starting with a really easy one. Absolutely Fabulous. The 1X robots run on pollution and emit fresh air with a pure pine scent or something like that. Pure oxygen with a fresh pine scent. That's right, Red Tree. That's right. Root of all evil. What is the name of Dwight and Cubert's company? Not Dwight Lightning. Dwight Lightning was the name of Dwight's strategy. To which Cubert replies, I get to name the next strategy. It's not Plan X. Plan X's corp is, that's the name from the episode with the 80s guy. Oh, what's it called? It's the abbreviation for Planet Express in that episode. Oh, man. I hope, okay. If there's a quiz that's like, name this episode, I'm going to do terribly. You just went through and got 10 out of 10. Yeah, this is easy. You know what? I'm just going to do this one really fast. It's Awesome Express, Fry in the Slurm Factory. What's the tour guide's name? It's Glurmo. Wormulon's the name of the planet, and Slurms Mackenzie is the name of the party worm. And Bisbo, I don't know if that's a character name or not, but it was Glurmo. Why must I be a crustacean in love? What was the name of the female Dr. Zoidberg fell in love with? Dr. Zoidberg fell in love with. It's Edna. Umbriel's the mermaid in the Deep South. Lisa, I don't know. And Leela, it's Leela, obviously. In Mars University, what's the name of the sports team of the college Fry went to, according to Fry? The Whitefish. Go Whitefish. Fear of a Bot Planet. What's the answer to the test the guards robots gave Fry and Leela? Well, I have an unfair advantage for this one. What would you most prefer? A puppy, a pretty flower from your sweetie, or a properly formatted data file? Well, obviously, if you're trying to convince them you're a robot, that's what you want. Who created Futurama? That would be Matt Groening. Phil Lamar's and Billy West are voice actors. Christopher Ting, I believe, does the music. And I don't know if is that a typo or is his name actually spelled like that? Lisa was one of the robots from Bender's Dream. Okay. According to the episode, I second that emotion. How did Bender's father die? Oh, yeah, the can opener. You killed my father, and now you've come back for me. That's what it is. I was worried about that one for a second. But yes, that's... Right? Hang on. Let me think here. You killed my father, now you've come back for me. Oh, yeah. Yes, because he gets all irritated at Nibbler. Lily uses the can opener to open the kibbles and snouts. Okay, yeah, it's the can opener. And in the episode, Hell's Other Robots, what's the name of the place where Bender goes to jack on? I believe it is Sparky's Den. That's the one I'm least sure of. Yeah, no, it is the bad kind of puppy. That's right. Submit. Okay. How did I do? Where's my score? Correct. Oh, I have to scroll down. Oh, I read this wrong. Although flowers would also have been acceptable. Oh, they juked me. Did any of you catch that? You're right. The flowers would also have been acceptable. B and C. See, I didn't read it properly. I assumed it meant A and C. Excuse me. Sorry, should have hit the cough button. I did make a mistake. Delete my channel. I don't deserve the recognition. All right, let's find one. Here's... You'll never be able to name 100% of these characters. So, that's as far as I can zoom it in without it. Yeah, sorry, this is as far as I can zoom this one in. Can we name these characters, chat? Who is this? Just give you a second on that one. Actually, let me... Yeah, I can't... It gets better. The next few questions don't have this giant block of text in between. Yes, I forgot the flower. I'll never... Oh, super chat from Matthew Jur M. Thank you so much. Says, started watching your stuff last night. Been watching Futurama for 25 years at this point. GG, bro. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Very, very much. And I just want... You know what? Let me just double check I haven't missed any... Oh, okay. No, I haven't. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Matthew. Really appreciate that. Care for a slice of delicious cake? Yes, this is Colleen from The Beast with a Billion Backs. And did you know The Beast with a Billion Backs? Did you know that that is a Shakespeare reference? Shakespeare referred to, like, a Shakespearean way of referring to a couple making love is a beast with two backs. And so the beast with a billion backs, well, you know, you've seen the movie, I'm sure. even if a bunch of other men have been thrusting their naked, sweaty bodies onto the cake, well, see you, Blocks. Thanks so much. You're going to start a channel Overthinking My Streams. That flower will be my doom. Oh, no. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Well, this is Morbo, obviously. Well, you know who this is. If you just watched my recent video. It's not Bam Bam. Blue Iron Chef. Nice. Spice Me Gravy. What is that supposed to mean? It's, of course, celebrity chef Elzar. Ah ha 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 ha. We know this guy, right? No, I thought they were going to, actually going to throw a curveball at us and put Fry here. But no. Bruce, Lars, Yancey, and Scruff. I'm sorry that this one just is not properly sized for how I have things on the screen here. I apologize for that. This is Lars, obviously. Aha. Hedonism bot, Calculon, the Crusher. Do you mean the Crushinator, perhaps? Is there a robot called the Crusher? Let me know. Acting Unit 7000. Well, Calculon. Is this one of those things where they're like, you'll never be able to do this, but they make it stupid easy, and it's just a way to hook you in? Lucifer, Hedonism bot, Clamps. No, we got Robot Devil voiced by Homer Simpson himself. Dan Castellaneta, except for that one time when he was voiced by Maurice LaMarche. Then we got the Dawn bot. Kif. So I'm just going to zoom through this because this is less interesting than I thought it would be. Who is this? That is Michelle. And ooh. Do we know this one? I'm sure you all do. Ethan Pie Tate, Ethan Hoops Tate, Ethan Bubblegum Tate, or Ethan Dimes Tate? It's finished 100% is pretty easy. Yeah, these are super easy. But there's one I've got loaded up. This is Ethan Bubblegum Tate, obviously, so... Oh, there's more than 10. How many are there? Hold on. Hypnotoad. Clamps. Tinny Tim. Bev. Yeah. Bev is the short form, though. Is it beverage 3? Excuse me. Miss drinks. Bev. That's hedonism bot. I don't know why I assumed this was only 10. Okay, I scored 100%. All right, well, the ultimate Futurama quiz. Is there actually a hard... This is one where you have to like fill in all the episode titles in 11 minutes. I don't think I have the stamina for that right now. But let's see. This one is... I'm looking for a hard one. One where I actually might need chat's help. You've often wondered who programmed a robot with the express purpose of being hedonistic. That's a good question. Yeah, there's a lot of robots in where you could ask that question. Like, yeah, like Roberto says, he was built because scientists were trying to see if they could build an insane robot. It's like, why would you do that? Want to show you how to decipher alienese? Sure. I mean, I could do that. Let me just... I'll have to get that set up. But it's a simple... well, I'll show you. Yeah, I don't think... What was Fry delivering? Okay, this is noob stuff. What song was Nixon playing? He was playing White Rabbit, yeah. So these do get a little more challenging, but... Yeah, okay. Forget the quizzes. I think that's not as interesting as I had hoped it would be. So let me just... Oh. Hold on, I'm just going to blank that out because I'm going to bring up... I'll show you guys a little bit about alienese, and then then I'll call it for the day. So my voice is getting really tired. But as a basic primer, there are 2 alien languages in Futurama. Excuse me. So there's alien language 1 and there's alien language 2. Now, let's bring this. I just didn't have these preloaded, so I kind of have to... that's very small. Okay, so Alien Language 1 is dead easy. This is a really low resolution image, but Alien Language 1, well, English, there's, I think they were working on a third one because the first 2 got broken. Ask ChatGPT to make a hard Futurama quiz. Oh, good idea. We could try that. So Alien Language 1 is easy. It's a simple substitution cipher. Basically, you have a set of letters that translate to the English alphabet. And in all of the episodes that I've covered so far, this is the only one we've seen. So you just see the symbol, you swap in the right English letter, and you get the translation. And there's some punctuation marks. Could it have originated with the coffee aliens because they're 5 million years old and have that language? Oh, interesting idea. So, yeah, the Alien Language 1 is easy for that reason. So you can find these translation charts online, and that's pretty simple. But now Alien Language 2, now because that one got deciphered so easy, the creators of the show went and made a second one. Now that one is more complicated. And let me just pull it up here. Ba-ba-da-ba. image, zoom it in. All right. Oh, I got to change, hold on. I got to change the text here. How to, this is going to be delayed. So anyone who is, if you're just jumping into the live stream at this point, if you're watching it after the fact and you just see this title change over, I talked about Alien Language 1 previous to this. Now we're going to go into Alien Language 2. Now you see there's kind of a substitution cipher, like there's a chart here with a bunch of symbols, and we haven't seen this language anywhere yet in the episodes I've covered so far. It comes up later, but it does exist like in the original run, the Fox run of Futurama. So it is kind of, I think it's what's called an auto key cipher or something like that. So each symbol has a new number value, and to decode a message, you so basically, hang on, I'm kind of relearning this as I go because I haven't looked at this one as much until as the first one, just because it hasn't been in any of the episodes yet. So it says here, to decode a message, the first symbol's value is translated directly into a character. So say you have a letter that, or say you have a word that starts with this symbol here, this kind of sideways T. That's the first letter of your word. Well, you count 0, 1, 2, 3. Now it's 0 indexed, so 0, this would actually be A, B, C, D. So that's the first letter of the word. But then for any remaining letters, you subtract the previous symbol's numerical value. So, and if the result is less than 0, you add 26. So say this is the next symbol here. You subtract the previous symbol's numerical value, that's 3. So you go boom, 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 down to 11. And then you convert. Oh, good grief. So then I think that means then the 12th letter, that would be the 12th letter of the alphabet, which is A, B, C. So I think what that means is that the first two letters would be D and L. Actually, maybe some of you know this better than I do. Someone in the chat said they did wrote a program about this. Oh yeah, programs at college to decipher both languages as part of independent study in cryptography. So this one's a lot more complicated, and I'm not even sure. I'll have to read this again to. Yeah, I'll have to look this over again to see if I actually understand it. But so that's what it says. You just translate the first symbol, translates over directly, but you have to remember it's 0 indexed. So if you see this, that would be Z, but the number is 25. If it's C, this would be C, but its numerical value is 2. So if it's car, I guess you would go. Now, how do you reverse translate it? Do you add the number? Yeah, okay. Clearly, I wasn't prepared for this, but that's how it's. So you can't, if you see a word written in this language in the show, you can't just translate it directly to letters like you can with the first alien language. You have to do this weird number math stuff to make it work. And so maybe when we get there, I'll do a more detailed examination of this. If I had an actually, let's see. Is there a... Yeah, there is an example here, but it's kind of complicated. So I'm going to leave that there for now. What did I say I was going to do after this? Oh, ask ChatGPT to make a quiz. Right. Okay, let's do that. And that'll be it for today, because I have some other things I need to get to, but let's load up ChatGPT. How does that appear on my browser? Okay, not bad. Let's see here. Okay, make me a very difficult 10 question Futurama quiz. Ask one question at a time. See if that works. I've never made a quiz in ChatGPT before. And then let's see here. There we go. All right. Make me a very difficult 10-question Futurama quiz. Ask one question at a time. Sounds like fun. Question 1. In the episode The Day the Earth Stood Stupid, the big brain tries to conquer Earth using a device that attacks people's intelligence. What is the full name of this device? Oh, okay. We're in business now. I got to think about this one for a sec. And I promise I'm not cheating. I'm muting the microphone so I can take a swig of coffee and water. Isn't it called like the stupefaction field or stupid? The infosphere is later. The infosphere is what they're going to use later to destroy the universe after learning everything about it. But in The Day the Earth Stood Stupid, that's the one where the brains come to Earth and make everyone dumb, and then they try to trap Fry in some classic books or something. It's called a stupefaction field or a stupefaction ray, something like that. Someone help me out here. Does any of you remember what it's called? And don't cheat. Don't look it up. The brain powers made them stupid. Yeah, like they directly... I can see the scene in my head. It's like, our stupefaction ray has no effect on this one because it doesn't affect Fry. But then it's like, they're like, that's impossible. We're an ambitious young squad with everything to prove. Stupefication ray or something like that. I'm going to try... stupefication ray. I'm going to try stupefication ray. Well, beta or gamma, the whole, like, Fry's missing the, maybe it is beta or, Fry likes the gamma. Isn't it the delta brainwave? Anyway, I'm going to try stupefaction ray. Close, but the stupid ray? I don't think that's correct. That's not right. That's not right at all. It's not called a stupid ray. I'm actually going to... Hold on, I'm going to change how this is... change how the browser... No, don't shrink it. Just going to change how it's positioned just slightly here. Bump it up a bit. There we go. In The Honking, Bender gets cursed and turns into a werecar. According to the curse, who or what must he kill to end the werecar curse? Well, that's... that's like Project Satan or the original werecar, right? Did it have a name beyond that? Did it have a more of a proper name? Because I remember he goes on that search to find the original werecar, which was I know yeah, probably just the original wear car. So I'll try that. The original wear car. Correct. Okay. Here's the next one. Yeah, Project Satan was the name of... I wonder if it would have accepted Project Satan. In Roswell That Ends Well, Fry accidentally becomes his own grandfather. What specific drink did he put in the microwave, causing the explosion that sent the crew back in time? He didn't put a drink in the microwave. He put popcorn in the microwave. He put a metal popcorn in the microwave. Metal popcorn container. Spot on. It asked me about it causing a supernova. Okay, well, I don't know if it was specifically Jiffy Pop, but it was definitely that kind of popcorn. Like that kind of popcorn thing where you I guess, yeah, like the flat pan-shaped thing that like bubbles up when you cook it. But, well, while this is giving us more challenging questions, it's also obviously getting certain basic facts wrong. It asks what drink did he put in the microwave, which is obviously not correct. Y'all don't drink your popcorn. Yeah, not typically. Popcorn is a drink in the year 3000. Yeah. I'm sure it is. I'm sure they found a way to liquefy popcorn. Make it a drink. Question 4. In Jurassic Park, what was the name of Fry's fossilized dog who waited loyally until the end of his life? Oh, you had to. Why? Hang on. It's Seymour, but I'm going to spell it wrong. Seymour. S-E-Y-M-O-U-R. And they... I saw on Twitter that... Oh, Iffy Pop. Yeah, that's... Right. Seymour asses. They... On Twitter once I saw they had found a frozen dog somewhere somewhere in the world. They had found like a dog that had been frozen thousands of years ago or something. So I put the Fry surprised face. I was like, Seymour? Got a few likes for that. In The Why of Fry, we learned that Nibbler was responsible for pushing Fry into the cryogenic tube in the year 1999. What was the reason behind this action? Okay. So it's actually asking a more open-ended question here. A couple of years ago, your wife and her friend doubted a cartoon could make them cry. Yeah, that's a good one to have. That's a good ammunition if someone doesn't think a cartoon can make them cry or they'll get emotional over an animated show. Popcorn actually liquefies as it pops, which allows it to puff up and cool into a large fluffy kernel. Oh, okay. Did not know that. Yes, so that he could save the world. That's right, El Duderino. How should we phrase this, though? They needed him to help save the universe in the future. Why did I capitalize future? It's because I'm so used to capitalizing Futurama. Oh, you got the quote. Odd, he is immune to our psionic attack. Brain number 2. Impossible! We're an ambitious young squad with everything to prove. Love that. We've passed this but for the first question, which I don't think... Like, Red Tree just put it in the chat. It's called a psionic attack. It's not... Or... Maybe it's said differently somewhere, but it's not called a stupid ray. In A Pharaoh to Remember, Bender becomes the Pharaoh of Osiris IV. What absurd demand does he make about his statue? Yeah, he... Remember me. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the first question is just wrong. Yeah, so, I mean, so he demands the statue to be absurdly big. I wonder if it wants a more... What does he say? Like, 1,000,000 cubits tall or something? 1,000,000,000 cubits tall? Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, well, yeah. So Bender wants to be remembered. That's the. I feel like it might be 1,000,000,000. I feel like it's 1,000,000. I feel like 1,000,000 is a little more. 1,000,000,000 is extreme. To make it 1,000,000 cubits tall. Now I have no idea. It might say that we're right even if we're wrong. Was 1,000,000,000? You could see it from the atmosphere. Would that be 1,000,000,000? Like, a cubit is what? Like, well, I mean, it depends on the size of the person. But a cubit is, like, let's say a foot, foot and a half. Would 1,000,000,000... Yeah, I mean, I don't know how tall 1,000,000 versus 1,000,000,000 cubits would be. Let's see. I'm gonna take advantage of the open-endedness to make it 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 cubits tall. You got it. Bender demanded his statue be built 1,000,000,000 cubits tall in true Bender fashion. Okay. So those of you who said billion, you win. You get extra bonus points. Although I'm going to go check that later. See if it's correct. Or maybe someone can look that up and see if it's... Is it 1,000,000,000 or 1,000,000? In The Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings, what instrument does Fry play after making a deal with the robot devil? I'll just let that one percolate for a minute. 1,000,000,000 cubits would be like 500,000 kilometers. Okay. Yeah, cubit, like, so a cubit was, yeah, maybe about half a meter. It was kind of a non-standard unit of measure. It was like measured by the length of your arm, like from your elbow to your middle finger or something. Or like before they had proper rulers, they would use like cubits and spans, which were like the length of your forearm and the length of your like the width of your hand if you spread your fingers out. Holographic wind instrument. Yes. It's called the holophoner. The holophoner. That's right. Red tree with the quotes. To win Leela's heart, he needed hands of and how do you spell transcendental? Yes, the holophoner. In Parasites Lost, Fry becomes incredibly strong and smart due to the parasites he picks up. What activity caused him to get infected by these parasites? Y'all remember? Sure you do. It's a classic episode. I have no idea if ChatGPT even knows what it's talking about. But this is definitely more fun than those previous quizzes. Yes, he ate an egg salad sandwich from a truck stop. But sandwich from a truck stop. But then later it said that the eggs in the egg salad sandwich were worm eggs, which doesn't make sense to me because it's like, well, why would they make the sandwich out of worm eggs? Wouldn't the worms just come along later and lay their eggs on the sandwich? In The Sting, Leela falls into a coma after being stung by a space bee. While she's unconscious, she has visions of Fry trying to communicate with her. What item does Fry leave at her bedside in every vision? I think it's hallucinating. Unless maybe you're all smarter than me. Yeah, it is a pure hallucination. Like, it's, I mean, it starts out it starts out correct. It's got the premise of the episode correct. Can you re-ask that without hallucinating, please? I think ChatGPT got stung by a space bee. Here's a clearer version. Oh, that's not what I asked. No, that's not right. I didn't ask you to make it clearer. I asked you to stop making stuff up. And now it's going to get dumber because we've hit the free plan limit for 4.0 or whatever. New question, please. That one is flawed. Question 9 revised. Inventor's Big Score. What is the name of the time travel device used by the crew to go back in time, which is also responsible for the events that caused the universe to be reset? Okay, now it's just going off into complete insanity. You've never had luck telling it to correct itself? Someone told me that if you ask it not to hallucinate, it actually gives you more accurate info, which anecdotally I have sort of found to be true, but I don't know. I mean, who knows, right? That time code it's just the time code. It's not a device. It's the universal machine language time code. Responsible for the events that caused the universe to be reset. I don't know what it's talking about there, but let's just go universal machine language time code. Boom. The correct answer is universal time code UTC. The device uses this code to manipulate time and causes all the paradoxes in Bender's Big Score. That is... Well, at least there's some entertainment value in this. Okay. In the episode L'Irreconcilable... That's not an episode. L'Irreconcilable Indifferences is an episode name. Lur, the ruler of planet Omicron Persei 8, well, I got that right at least, wants to get revenge on Earth for canceling his favorite TV show. No. That's not... No. Single female lawyer. But it happened in a different episode. It actually happens in... No, don't sass back with me. You're wrong. You are wrong. Even though it does come up in a few other episodes. That's not... No. Ugh. Dumb. LOL. Meant in jest, but you did get a few things wrong. See, now, here's a weird thing. Why do I actually feel guilty for calling this soulless, emotionless machine stupid? Regarding hallucinations, if you specifically point out what's wrong, it's a lot better at fixing it, but it might still argue. The questions that made sense weren't even that hard. Okay, well, let's try this. Ask me the hardest Futurama trivia question ever asked in the history of the universe. Okay. In the ultimate Futurama question. In the Futurama Holiday Spectacular, what was the name of the song that Bender performs in the special holiday sing-along, which originally appeared in an earlier episode but was later re-recorded in a very different style? Well, he performs this special holidays. This is okay. It's just making crap up now. What is Fry's middle name? That is a very that's a good question. What is Fry's middle name? Okay, never mind. Just tell me what you think of Sceneometry. Sceneometry sounds like a fascinating concept. If I understand it correctly, the term combines scene, a moment or setting, with geometry, the mathematical study of shapes and spatial relationships. Might refer to a method of visualizing or analyzing scenes, like in film, animation, or storytelling, through a geometric lens. This could involve breaking down the scenes and structural elements, considering how space, angles, and perspective play into narrative artistic choices. If you're committed, if you're using it for something creative, I'd love to hear more about your idea for Sceneometry. Well, I already have done it. It's a YouTube channel. Oops. It's a YouTube channel. Memory updated. Well, I'm not doing 20 questions about my channel. With ChatGPT. But I am going to read this super chat from Matthew Jur, who says, here's a pop quiz, and thank you so much for the super chat. I've used Jur as my online avatar since a specific episode came out. What's the episode and why? Is that... Now, hang on. Is that the picture you're using right now? I'm assuming you're talking about Jur, the son of Lur, who comes out in... who appears in T, the Terrestrial? Why... No, close this... Get... What did it... Sorry, I clicked on something and it opened some weirdness. Okay, so... Is that correct, Matthew? So is Jur, is it... is that what you're referencing? I'm assuming you're talking about a specific Futurama episode, so I'm going to guess T, the Terrestrial, Jur, son of Lur. He came out a lot sooner than that, though. Oh, yeah. Jur was... it was the problem with poplars. Was when he was born, right? He's the one that Leela... that came alive, and that's how they figured out that poplars were living things, which turned out to be baby Omicronians. Red Tree, thank you so much for the super chat. It says that was a great stream. I hope you find time to do another sometime, and you're really excited for the next video. If you guys if you like these streams, I'd love to do more of them. And I think I'm in a better place to do more of them than I was. I know my last one was almost a year ago. And if you're enjoying this, like, I'd love to do more live streams. And I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate you guys. There's been steady viewership. I almost don't want to end it. Although I've kind of run out of stuff to, like, I've gone through everything I had planned for this. So, oh, and there's it says beneath your super chat, it says, let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Am I your first super chat? Were you a super chat virgin before? I'm so honored. I really appreciate I really appreciate that. All the super chats. I really love it. Totally unnecessary, but I do appreciate it. Yes. How long have I been streaming? For good grief, we're pushing 4 hours. I told my wife like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I should probably wrap things up and get downstairs. But you mainly watch Twitch. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much, and thank all of you for joining me for this. I'm glad you had a good time here. If you want to see more streams, I could definitely do more streams. And thank you for the insight, the feedback about memberships stuff. I mean, that could be a memberships perk, bonus live streams. But again, like, I don't like the idea of locking out content. I don't like the idea of like maybe like offering a few extra bonus things, but like I don't want normal content to be locked behind a paywall. But I'll have to think about it. Oh my goodness, Goga with the super chat. Keep up the good work. Would love to see more. Space Peanut says, I'm awake again. What'd I miss? Well, what did you miss? What did we do today? Let's recap, class. Well, I don't know when you went to sleep, Space Peanut, but we did Q&A. We talked about Season 12 a whole bunch. We talked about my ultimate Futurama fan theory. Then we debunked it. We did some Futurama quizzes, which sucked. Then we talked about the alien languages. And then we had ChatGPT make us a Futurama quiz, which was very entertaining, although it was, kind of... ChatGPT doesn't always know what it's talking about. Let's put it that way. Trikiran's got to go. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm on a tear today. First super chat from Goga. What? Like, and that, I'm not kidding when I say that's meaningful to me. Like, if this is even the first time you guys have given super chats on live streams before, I'm honored that you feel like my content is worth that. I really, really appreciate it so much. Yeah, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of surreal in some ways. And I kind of just started this, I had this random idea for this YouTube show because I loved Futurama and wanted to do something with it for content. And then it's turned into this, and it's continually growing. But yeah, I love it. I love all the ideas. I almost don't want to go because you guys are like being so supportive and awesome right now. Yeah, super chat virgin. Yeah. Yeah, but really appreciate it. And I know, there's a lot happening in the world, and I'm glad I can kind of give a place where you could leave reality behind and just focus on, focus on a show that you enjoy, that we can all talk about something we're fans of without, like, I'm sure we've got lots of people I'm sure if I put all of you in a room and we started talking politics or something, a bunch of you would be at each other's throats, but we can come together and talk about something we're all a fan of and just have a fun time. And that the world needs more of that right now, because everyone's getting so divided about stuff that and we just need some reprieve and some some fun in our lives. And so I'm glad I can contribute to that. It really means a lot. So I really, so I appreciate being able to be a part of this. And that we can all, just come together and do this, and really, appreciate the support. Probably getting sick of me telling you how much I appreciate it, but it means a lot to me. And I'm glad I have this opportunity to make content that people enjoy. It's really, in a lot of ways, is all I've ever wanted, as in terms of a career. I've had some great jobs in my life, but when you can actually just make something that people like and want more of. It's a really good feeling when you're a creative person. So only political discussion allowed is Megabot Nixon. Yes, exactly. We should come together and send those clowns a message by staying home and dressing like clowns. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I will, Space Peanut and anyone else, I will leave the stream VOD will be up. The chat replay will stay up, so anyone who wants to can, if you missed any part of it or you want to go back and see some of it again. There's parts I'm going to go back because you guys gave me some good feedback about the memberships thing, so I'm going to have to go back and check that out. But I can't, man, this 3 hours has flown by. So thanks so much. I'm like an hour past where I told my wife I'd be done. So I'd better get back to real life. Take care, all of you. God bless. And I will talk to you again very soon.